32.
But anyway, speaking of superpowers, this week's review, Amazon is getting into the superhero game on the small screen with a reboot of The Tick. In a world where superheroes have been real for decades, an accountant with mental health issues and zero powers comes to suspect that his city is owned by a global supervillain long thought dead. As he struggles to uncover the conspiracy, he falls in league with a strange blue superhero. They launch into adventures brimming with crazy archvillains, blood-soaked vigilantes, and superhuman freakery. Starring Peter Serafinowicz, Griffin Newman, and Valerie Curry. They have rebooted The Tick now, which has now lived on the small screen 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
One as an animated show.
Loved it.
Then they
The
did a
live
live action with
Patrick Warburton.
Warburton,
was good stuff.
who is actually an executive producer
Is he?
of the reboot,
I was
along
hearing
with
that.
David Fury and Barry Sonnenfeld from the
Awesome.
old Men in Black days.
Yeah.
So
On that middle series, the Patrick Warburton one, they had Bat-Manuel was played by the guy
Bat-Manuel.
who then went on to be in The Dark Knight and something as
Yes.
the mayor of Gotham City.
Yes,
Yes.
he did. Bat-Manuel.
Batmanuel.
Yeah.
I was hoping they'd let them cross that over. You know, Bat-Manuel team up with good old Batman, and
Yeah, I'm hoping. I only saw the first episode, the pilot episode, because the show doesn't drop until August 25th.
Ooh.
But you can watch the pilot episode now. You can watch the pilot, and I was just waiting. Hopefully later on, I like when the Tick would run in his charge with spoon.
Yeah. Good stuff. Based on a comic book
Yeah.
as well.
yeah,
And,
that
we
cartoon
like
was good for
those.
maintaining continuity when cartoons didn't do such things.
Yes.
Like in the one episode, like Chairface was etching his name on the moon, and he got captured and interrupted in the end. And then the rest of the series, the moon said
Oh,
Chairf.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And you know what?
that's right.
I also
I just remembered that for the rest. It was good.
the cartoon Freakazoid. It seemed like kind of a knockoff / clone of the Tick. I think
Yeah, I don't
Freakazoid
remember
came
Freakazoid.
after the Tick. Freakazoid is good.
I don't
Freakazoid
remember
is funny.
Freakazoid.
I love that.
It was kind of like
Yeah, I
the
think
Tick
so.
meets Warlock from the New Mutants. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just remember the Tick was always one of those shows where I only would see a handful. Animated series, saw a handful of episodes. The first live action one, I saw a handful of
I think
episodes.
there were only 6 of those anyway. So yeah. You
Oh,
probably
so
saw-
I probably watched 2
Probably
or
saw
3 of the 6.
Yeah.
But definitely the the one that you just said in the anime, I know I saw that one because I remembered it.
Yeah.
And then when Batman, I have this vision of Batman with like sipping like a cup. It's like he's
Yeah,
Bat-Manuel.
they're at the cafe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about Patrick Warburton and the Tick suit, they had to get him in with massive amounts of KY gel. I noticed that around that time in the 90s that, the KY gel reserves were going down. They couldn't find it. I think they were using it to get him in his suit. So.
Yeah, not just, but also him and John Wesley's ship to get into that Flash suit.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They would just slather him off.
Slide him right in.
Yeah, those
The gimp.
old school padded foam muscle suits. Yeah, that shit was
Yeah.
like trying to climb into the little thing that's on the outside of the handlebars. Like, yeah.
It was, yeah, I could just imagine how hot it must have
Oh,
been.
my
in
God. That must have been awful. Oh, God.
Yeah,
Well,
the new ones are supposed to be a lot less like that. I saw a picture of Melissa Benoist in her Supergirl outfit in a hot tub, just chilling, and it was all wet. Actually, kind of hot, but but it's like if you can get that suit completely wet like that and get out and it's gonna dry off, that's far advanced from that old '80s shit they used to have.
oh, for sure.
And I will go ahead. Isn't it Melissa Benoist?
No,
No,
Benoist.
you would think it is, but they're Benoist probably because it was Benoit, and they're like, fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
No more Benoit. Even the balls said no more Benoit.
Oh boy, always a fan. Well, we're gonna slide right into Ralphie D recommends, and this week Ralphie D recommends Darkman. That's right, Darkman. Liam Neeson's first foray into badassery. A brilliant scientist left for dead returns to exact revenge on the people who burned him alive, said the IMDb review. It's a 1990 action comedy fantasy done in that rainy style with practical effects that I love. Practical effects galore, a dash of awesome 89 Batman sounding music by, you guessed it, Danny Elfman.
Who?
Danny Elfman,
That
man.
Jenna's brother?
They're
No,
related.
they're cousins or something like that.
They're
though, yeah.
cousins.
They're cousins.
They're happy and this kid.
And the color.
Um,
I remember seeing
If I can remember
Darkman at
correctly-
the Chief Cinemas, man. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember that.
I remember
back in the
Darkman.
day.
It was a Dark Horse comic book, correct? Dark Horse comic book.
Yeah.
There was a Marvel
We'll go
one. I
with
don't know if there probably was
Marvel?
more than one.
I thought it was Dark Horse, but I just remember when we went to go see that movie,
Yeah.
and I remember the guy from Dr. Giggles was the bad guy.
Yeah, the L.A. Law dude. He was played like the
Yeah.
retarded gentleman on there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Back when
and
that's what they were called.
He was,
I don't
he
know
was
what they're
scary.
called
Larry Drake.
I remember he was real scary, and Liam Neeson. Man, if you would have told me back then that Darkman was going to have the career that he did, because he only played Darkman, I want to say,
In the first one.
in
The
the
first
first
one.
one,
Skip the sequels.
skip the sequels.
A young Frances McDormand who, she's cute, but not
Oh,
that
Fargo?
traditional. Yeah.
Fargo was
Not
in?
that traditional hot leading lady.
I know
cute,
I saw
but, you know,
Darkman, and the only thing I can remember is the bird thing. And it was just, and it was like, no. And one of the thing is that he can change his face to be anything, but it only was for limited time.
99 minutes.
99 minutes.
That's how long the masks.
That's how
lasted.
long the mask would last.
It's
And
like
it
because
would-
they had an LED timer and it only had 2 digits, so 99 was like the max, right? That was an 80s limitation.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
anyway.
at the end of that movie, though, it's like, wow, this is the first Sam Raimi film with no Bruce Campbell, and then like the very last thing of the movie is
The
him
very
taking
last
off the
shot.
mask and being Bruce Campbell. Like, yeah.
That's right.
that is awesome.
Oh yeah, and his yellow Chevy, whatever, is
That
also.
Oldsmobile, yeah.
Well, I'm Ralphie D, and that's news to me.
And I'm Cool Water Kurt. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
252.
Donis, pull yourself together.